All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you. And the first thing I want to talk about is a Coinbase Pro adds support for Cardano. So they finally add Cardano after I don't know how many years, basically. Coinbase Pro is adding support for Cardano, with trading beginning Thursday, which was yesterday. In case you guys missed the news, once sufficient supply of Cardano is established on the platform, it's going to start trading at 12 p.m. And now it's actually on regular Coinbase. However, I always urge everybody to use Coinbase Pro. Of course, anybody that's used Coinbase for any period of time basically knows that you probably should never ever buy on Coinbase regular version, considering now there's basically instant deposits from your bank account to Coinbase Pro, and well, you can't really move it for a few days until it clears, but it's basically instant anyway. So starting today, Coinbase supports Cardano at Coinbase.com and in the Android and iOS apps. And Coinbase customers can now buy, sell, convert, send, receive, or store Cardano. And you probably just have to refresh your app or something like that if you don't see it. But moving on here, first Bitcoin ETF approved in Latin America. So a new Bitcoin ETF is in the world. In America, lagging behind once again. So we're not going to be first. We're not going to be second, maybe third. Who knows? Hopefully third. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Brazil has greenlit the very first Bitcoin exchange traded fund in Latin America. QR Capital's Bitcoin ETF will be trading under the QBTC11 ticker on the $1 trillion B3 stock exchange based in Sao Paulo. It will use the CME CF Bitcoin reference rate, the highly esteemed cryptocurrency benchmark for determining its net asset value on a daily basis. And then the article goes on to say that the first Bitcoin ETF surpasses $1 billion. The first Bitcoin ETF was Canadian, and I believe that those are... there's like 3 of those in Canada at the moment. So, and I think there's 2 in Brazil currently. This one just talks about 1, but I believe there's 2 now. And speaking of that news, speaking of the devil, Scaramucci Skybridge applies for Bitcoin ETF. Scaramucci, that sounds familiar. Skybridge Capital, the firm run by former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci, that's where I remember that douche from, has filed for a Bitcoin ETF with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Well, douche status removed if you happen to get an ETF going, Scaramucci. Douche status removed only under those conditions, Scaramucci. The investment advisory firm has over $7 billion in assets under management, and it's eponymously named Skybridge Capital with or Bitcoin Fund grew to the size of $370 million within weeks of its January open. So another one trying to become an ETF now. The fund for accredited investors able to contribute at least $50,000. So you're going to have some big bucks for it. Allows for shares to be redeemed on a quarterly basis. So if this ever gets, if this basically ever gets created, that will just be another indicator for the price. Right now, currently, it's basically Grayscale, and whenever the unlocking periods occur, before that there's usually a very low premium period, and Bitcoin usually dips, and then after that unlocking period, like for example after February 3rd is the last one I know of, the price started to go back up, and now the premiums are super low once again, but I don't know when the next unlocking period is off the top of my head for Grayscale. But now we'll have to be just looking at the quarterly ETF dump, the quarterly ETF dumpathon, and then the pump afterwards, which will basically become a thing if this becomes an ETF. Moving on here, Robinhood CEO will offer a crypto wallet as fast as possible. Robinhood CEO, it's fake news. Well, this isn't really actually fake news, but Robinhood is basically fake news. Robinhood's so garbage. I really don't care for the Robinhood exchange, considering that you put crypto on it and you can't get your crypto. Well, you can't put crypto on it or get crypto off of it. I know they were trying to work on that recently, but it took them this long, and it took such negative PR for them to actually want to do that. I don't believe that anybody should use Robinhood. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev said the online brokerage company is working on a crypto wallet feature, quote, as fast as possible, he reviewed in a fireside chat posted on YouTube yesterday. As much as people are bugging me on that me on that on social media. I'm bugging our crypto team and our software engineers, Tenev said, adding, we're going to try and get that done as fast as possible. And they probably need to, considering that hot, fiery 1 out of 5-star review on Google after the whole after the whole fiasco of GameStop and them stopping the ability to buy GameStop. And then they're like, no, it's fine. You can buy 1 share of GameStop. They basically stopped trading GameStop, only allowed sells for a week so that they could help their hedge fund overlords. And then they had the audacity after about a week to say, oh, no, you guys can buy 1 share per day. So that's not going to pump anything, nor is it going to support the price of the dumpening from the FUD. So it's basically just screwing people over even more. I could see like, okay, you have to sell this, even though I can't even see that. But like, let's just go there. Let's go with this for a second. Okay, you can only sell it. Fair enough. At least you can get out with, minimal profit or minimal losses either way. But when it's going down and you allow a large group of people to only buy 1 share as it's going down, you're basically just trapping people at a very high price at that point. There's no way anybody could pump it or sustain the price at that point. So good job, Robinhood. That was probably the worst decision of it all, actually, or over the whole thing, that I don't think people make as big deal of as I would hope it to be. But good job, Robinhood. But that's not all the Robinhood CEO revealed in the discussion. Ooh, hot. He also suggested that its forthcoming crypto wallet may be accompanied by new cryptocurrencies joining the platform. We'll see, he said. We might add some new coins along the way. We might also screw you over again once or twice along the way, too. Robinhood, where you are the product and your data goes to the big hedge fund overlords that figure out a way to screw you over. Awesome. That sounds like a great deal. I mean, who would not want to be on Robinhood knowing that you're the product and all your data is just going to another trader? It's basically your trades are going to another trader who uses those trades against you. Good job. This is a great platform. What a swell idea. I mean, it's so bad. Oh, man, it's so bad. Stop using Robinhood. Guys, stop using Robinhood. Please delete your Robinhood. Get your funds off there. Put it on a real exchange, please. Moving on here to Grayscale news. Okay, so I showed this yesterday in my video to make a point that Grayscale was indeed buying up some of those new cryptocurrencies that they added. They added 5 recently. They added Chainlink, which they bought 1.5 million of. They added BAT, which they bought 2.3 million of. They have Filecoin, and at the time they only had $100,000 of it, so boo, so not too crazy. And LivePeer, they had 2.8 million of, and I believe they had Mana as well. Yep, Mana here at 9.6 million. So actually the most in Mana, oddly enough. I mean, I suppose one of them has to take it. But this is the new updated one the next day, as of today, and BAT is at 2.2 million, so a difference. So they've actually lost $100,000 in BAT. Maybe somebody sold off or something. I'm not really sure, or depreciated in value, likely. So they buy a lot here, and then this is basically what it is with the current value of how much they have too. So it is a little bit sometimes misleading in the sense that they now have several more $1 million of something, but it could have just doubled in price, or the whole market was appreciating or something like that. So just keep that in mind. So BAT must have went down a little bit. Chainlink, they're still at the same. Decentraland, they have more now, or it went up in price again. But Filecoin is the one that I'm trying to get at here. They had $100,000 of Filecoin on the first day, and then the second day it's $1.3 million worth of it. So that's definitely not an appreciation in price. I don't remember Filecoin 10 to 12, 13xing, whatever math, and so that didn't happen. So they're buying a lot more of that, and I believe they bought more LivePeer too, because $2.8 million to 3.1, that sounds like quite a bit more. So again, those coins that they did mention will be mooning eventually. It depends on your definition of moon, of course. Rather just appreciating in value is probably a more pragmatic way to say it, just for the fact that they're buying millions of dollars worth of it, and that's just literally in the first couple days. So we'll have to see. And of course, all of their altcoins pale in comparison to Bitcoin, like regardless. And you could also argue pales, somewhat to their Ethereum trust, which is quite a bit too, $5.7 billion. But all the other ones you can still see are pretty small. Even the Stellar and Zcash ones, they never really appreciated particularly much. So who knows how much they're actually going to buy, but it's still quite a bit of pressure. on the markets. Moving on here to $1.8 billion market cap, 58,500 Bitcoin. We're moving back up. Unfortunately, the stock markets are a little bit rocky the past couple days. The Fed is talking about inflation rates and all this, yada, 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 after this whole stimulus fiasco and COVID fiasco. So I feel like we're running on borrowed stimulus time, and then eventually there's going to be some kind of correction. It's hard to say when that's going to be, but sooner or later there's going to have to be some kind of cooling off, as we've been in basically a bear or a bullish stock market since 2009, and that's when Bitcoin was created. So Bitcoin has never really seen a true depression, a true crash in the stock market that lasts a good year or two. So we'll have to see how good Bitcoin does with that. The only problem is I'm losing a little bit of confidence, not necessarily in cryptocurrency. Of course, I'm always going to be buying, but confidence in the fact that it's a hedge against the stock market. Is it? Yes, but the fact that now that the stock market and institutions are buying it up, when they get wrecked with margin trading or their subsidiaries have to owe money, the first thing they're going to do is, of course, sell off some assets in order to pay for that, and that's going to be gold, that's going to be stocks, that's going to be Bitcoin too. Now that they have Bitcoin, now that a lot of firms are trading Bitcoin and more companies are getting into it, eventually some of this Bitcoin is going to have to be liquidated when the margin calls come, essentially. When the stock market starts going down, a lot of those longers and a lot of people are going to get wrecked, and it's going to be Bitcoin that's going to pay for it, or at least one of the commodities or assets, etc., whatever you want to put it as, that's going to pay for it. And now that they have that as a resource, they're going to use that as a resource both for appreciation and as a hedge, and that hedge could be them selling it off in order to cover their other funds. So this is a possibility that Bitcoin is no longer a hedge to the stock market. Should it be? Yes. Is it to inflation? Absolutely. But in the event of a crash, hedge funds could use their Bitcoin in order to cover some of those losses. So that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video. That helps me out a lot. My social media is in the description below. Also, channel memberships are active. Hit the join button down below. Become a member of the channel, and you get a Cool Beans badge. You look 32% cooler when you comment with that badge. I can see it from space, and of course I'm going to reply to that one. But hey, to each his own, right? But as usual, I'll see you guys next time.